गुजरा हुआ जमाना आता नहीं दोबारा, आता नहीं दोबारा, हाफिज खुदा तुम्हारा, हाफिज खुदा तुम्हारा.
What does it mean?
The period which has passed will never come back again. Go and Almighty, you go and Almighty will look after you. Hafiz Khuda Tumhara means the Almighty God will look after you. Go. But the past will never come back.
The man we're all here for today is actually my creator and my savior. He's my father and I'm his youngest son. My father comes from a family of 12 children, 5 brothers and 7 sisters. My father was the kind of man they don't actually make anymore. He was a humble king amongst men. He was a titan, cut from a different cloth. In India, we call our fathers Darji. Since I was born, I've called him Darj. And my Darj came to England in 1964 with just a suitcase and immigrated to England from the Punjab. His elder brother, my late uncle Tari, lent him £5. And after paying him back that £5, he created a legacy here in the UK. England was a very different place for a turban-wearing Sikh in the 1960s. It's a backdrop of racial tension. Racism was very normal. In India, my father survived British rule and the partition. He lost close relatives during the Civil War and the civil violence that followed and affected millions. He was always proud of his roots in Rawalpindi, in India, now Pakistan, and could speak the mother tongue Patwari. Imagine a young man coming to such a hostile land in the 60s with the dream and determination to make enough money to bring his wife and 2 children, who were 7 and 5 years old, over to this country.
Today is Friday, you know.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, feel good factor
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah.
If you're feeling good,
Yeah.
it's all around come good thing for you.
Okay.
So that counts a lot. Feel good factor.
Feel good Friday, feel good factor.
Yeah. And then everything comes good and well.
Good.
Yeah. All in your favor.
All in your favor.
Yeah, that's true.
Universe working for you.
That's it. You said it. You didn't know it very well. Old and new thing get together. This is the old day. This is new day. Join together.
As you heard in the video I played, my dad said old meets new. I am my dad's last born child, the baby of the 4 siblings, and definitely a daddy's girl through my ups and downs with him. The others will say I'm the spoilt one. They're probably right. I got away with a lot. The odds of being born to my dad when he was 50 years old, statistically, back in the 80s, was very low. So to know that in my lifetime, I got the chance to call Darshan Singh Chowdhry my dad, I'm truly humbled and grateful. This really set the tone already for my life, letting me know that no matter how much the odds may be against you, if you truly want something in life and you work for it, the universe conspires to help you achieve it.
I'm sure many people had fond memories with my Nana, which is Grandad, and today, as his granddaughter, I'm going to share a few of mine. My Grandad was a man who worked hard his whole life so that his family lived a great life, and he definitely accomplished that. He was always the happiest when he would see someone doing well. Anyone who knows us knows that my mum was someone who met my Nanny and Nana many, many years ago, and they took her in as their daughter. Nana was the person who encouraged my mum to take part in English courses, so there was nothing stopping her from achieving whatever she wanted after coming here from India on her own. He always pushed everyone to do things that would make them successful, as this was all he wished for anyone and everyone.
I want to start off by saying thank you for everyone for attending my Nana's funeral. Oh, you probably wouldn't even want me crying right now. One sec. It means so much to me as my nonna has had a big impact on my life. He has taught me so much things, and he's taught me how to develop as a person, and he's taught me life lessons that no one else can teach. 2 days ago was my 20th birthday, and my nonna always calls me and tells me the same story every year. He always talks about his struggles that he faced when he was young, and in the stories, it always teaches me how to be humble in life and how to be happy of all the experiences that you face, all the losses and all the wins.
Despite all the challenges, with this sheer determination and endurance, he arrived in England with love in his heart and worked several jobs every day of the week just to bring his immediate and extended family to England. Without doubt, many generations wouldn't be here, and in America without him, I wouldn't be here without him. My father's powerful strength and resolve are unparalleled to me. He literally achieved the impossible. Daj worked in factories in London and Bristol in the 1960s and then ran a newsagent in Burnt Oak in the early 1970s, around 72 to 78. He also worked at London Transport for 15 years, 1969 to around 84. He then owned and ran a snack bar in Southall for another 15 years, 84 to 99, called The Upper Crust.
हे निमानिया दिमान नितानिया देता नियोटिया दियोट धन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज आप जी हाजर नाजर जान के आप जी दे पावन चरण विच अरदास बेनती है पातशाह जी चेरी लिखिया थे हुक्म कमाहे कहले आवे नानका सदे उठी जाए दे महावाका अनुसार आप दे चरण सेवक सरदार दर्शन सिंह चौधरी जिन्होंने आप जी ने जितनी स्वास्थ्य रूपी पूंजी बख्शिश की थी पातशाह ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚਲਾਣਾ ਕਰ ਗਏ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅੰਤਿਮ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਚੌਪਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਕੀਤੇ ਹਨ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਸੁਣੀ ਸੱਖਣ ਵਿਖੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਸਮੂਹ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਖ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਵਰਤਾਉਣੀ ਦੁੱਖਾਂ ਕਲੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਨਾਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਦੇ ਅਰੋਗਤਾ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤੀ ਨਾਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਾਤਾਂ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਾਤਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਵਿਛੜੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਦੀਵ ਕਾਲ ਪਾਵਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਵਾਸ ਅਸਥਾਨ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਭਾਣਾ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਬਲ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ सरदार दर्शन सिंह चौधरी के 5 पुत्र शरीर को शमशान घाट ले जाने की आज्ञा बख्शिश करो रस्ते वाद घाट अंग संगों के सहायता करनी सी प्यारे मेल जिन्ना मिलिया तेरे नाम चित्ता आवे नानक नाम चढ़दी कला तेरे भाणे सरबत वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह बोले सोनिहा वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
In 1980, I lost my mother to cancer at the age of 5. She was 42 years old. I was here. He single-handedly stepped up as a single parent and kept me going. Even with the pain, he protected me and shielded me from the hurt, even though Daj must have been suffering from immense heartbreak too. Some of my earliest memories are Daj protecting me and reading me bedtime stories, not from a book, but from his incredible imagination. I didn't want to sleep because I just wanted to stay up and listen to his stories he improvised. I thought, how is he able to do all these improvised stories? When I grow up, I want to make up stories and engage people just like Daj. The monkey throwing a coconut at a tiger in the forest, those kinds of things, you know. When Daj still had to go to work when I was 5, sometimes we couldn't find an auntie to look after me. This was hard for Daj, but a relief to me because I always wanted to be with him. On occasions, he took me to work. When he worked for London Transport. I loved being there on the bus with him. As a proud 5-year-old. Watching my dad. I'd sit on the side seat so I could watch him be the best bus conductor in London. He'd smile at all the passengers, and if any of them asked me who I was, I proudly said I'm his dad and he's my dad and I'm his son. Later, I was lucky enough to have a second mother, whom we also lost last year during the pandemic. Having lost Daj and my two mums, who were my queens, it was only Daj, my king, who got me through the anger and emotional torment. Just last year, it was again Daj who kept me going, just like he did when I was 5. Inspired me to carry on. All of my life, he kept me on the straight path, taught me right from wrong, encouraging me to study until I got my degree.
Just last year, we celebrated his 90th birthday, and that evening he sat down and asked us why so many people took out the time to send him videos wishing him a happy birthday. And our response was, because he shares his wisdom with everyone, and everyone is able to feel his love through the words he speaks, and that was exactly why so many people loved him.
He taught me lessons that no other person could teach, and these lessons I would want to pass down from generation to generation. I remember when I was approaching my teenage years, he taught me a lot of things that no other person you think would teach you. For example, he taught me business lessons. He taught me even little things, just like how to write a signature and how to be formal in certain situations.
One of my first memories with my dad was when I was 4 years old and I was in nursery and I had played a part as Sarah Ferguson reenacting her wedding with Prince Andrew. I remember I was sitting on a chair that I was rocking, eating my dad's lovely sandwiches that he and my mum had made and supplied from their cafe. I suddenly fell off the chair and the first person that came running to me was my dad. The teachers made a fuss and my dad just said, "It's okay. She's my daughter, she's strong, but I'll help her." My dad at a very young age let me experience that no matter how many times I may fall, my dad would be always there because he believed I was strong. My dad had already started teaching me very meaningful life lessons that at the time that I was not aware of.
In 1988, my dad survived a racist attack in Stanmore, London. He saved the lives of his brothers and took a knife to the face. He carried the scars on his face for the rest of his life. The police never found the attackers, yet once again, my father never held a grudge. Daj would risk his life for his family. He was selfless, altruistic. Qualities I wish I had in his abundance. Yet I know I'm still a work in progress, still trying to find my way to his level of compassion. He was always proud to be a part of this nation. I'm often asked what my parents thought when I told them I wanted to go into my profession as a comedian, and they supported me all the way. It was actually my father who was my biggest inspiration during my darkest days. And life, Dad kept me going. He gave me material. He's the one who gave me some of my best jokes. The most recent, when we were watching the news, it was about the Taliban with machine guns who were wearing chappals at the same time.
When I was younger, I used to think that loving someone meant that you would cry when they passed away. Now that I'm older, I realise that loving someone is enjoying the time you spend together, the memories you make, and cherishing those memories for a lifetime. There are many reasons that my Nana gave us to smile, and I want to thank him for everything he did for us as a family, and I want to thank him in advance for all the guidance he will give us through his spiritual form. After seeing so many people here today, I'm sure he must have said his favourite line, "Oh my God," at least once already. We will miss your company so much, but I'm grateful to have got to be a part of your journey.
My dad loved music. Listening to it was so special for him. Even the last few days of his life, I listened to 40s and 50s Bollywood music and we sang together. The songs that I played, he reminded me Muhammad Rafi is the singer man meet. Some of his favourite songs of him and Mum that I was playing to him. He knew my mum held a bachelor's in Sitar and encouraged her that when she came to India that she would carry that on. And then when she came from India, then I was 5 years old, and he gave me the gift of having to learn the harmonium and sing at Bina Musicals, the shop that was right next door to our cafe, Upper Crust. I remember when I was a little older and we had taken Uma Didi in as the daughter and her sister, he had her play the tabla, Mum the sitar, and me the harmonium. And when I'd ask him, well, what are you going to do, Dad? He would put his arms wide. I am the conductor. I will tell you what to do, and you three follow my lead, and I will enjoy it. Exactly is how he, lived his life. And Dad, you'll enjoy your favorite shabad that I'll sing for you later. He lived his whole 40 years like this that I was blessed to be with him, enjoying himself no matter how big or small the reason. Now, I won't include the Liverpool's losses in that, because those were the times that Mum and I knew not even to offer him food for being fearful of what might happen to us.
His goal, he set me a goal last year. The goal was that when I get successful and I become a man, it was to move him to Coventry. It was to move him to Coventry to live with us. I hope I make him proud, and I will make him proud. And I'm happy that he taught me to become a man. That's the most important thing he taught me. And I want to finish off by saying thank you for everything that you've done for me. And thank you for everything that you're going to continue doing for me in your spiritual form. And I want to share my last memory that I shared with him. The last memory that I shared with him was I hugged him and he gave me a kiss on my cheek. And I'll forever remember that. Thank you for everything, Nana. And say hi to Nani for me.
Just to share that a few days ago, our siblings were sitting together and couldn't figure out what we should have on our menu. My dad was a person who would just make up random songs, even if it was about food. So when we were asking for guidance of what we should make, I came across this video, and we have our menu for those of you who will be joining us.
आलू गोभी और चने की दाल है ये बड़ी मजेदार जो भी खाए हो जाए तैयार आलू गोभी और चने की दाल
I took Daj with me to the last two award ceremonies I went to at the Houses of Parliament. I got my dad on stage with me and I gave the award to him. And I said it wouldn't have been possible to achieve without his hard work and support in the first place. When I picked up another award at the Asian Eastern Eye Awards, again my dad, it was all dedicated to him. All the other award winners complained about their Indian or Asian parents stopping them from their chosen dreams in the arts. I said it's actually my dad did the opposite and encouraged his children to follow their own dreams and never imposing backward views, obviously once I got my degree. When we did the pictures with all the other celebrities and the winners, they all wanted Daj in the pictures. All of his life he could connect with anyone, of all backgrounds. He was a real natural star. Darshan Singh Chowdhry was an icon with the charisma and coolness of a film star. He believed in equality for all. He was also an everyman who just could connect with people through his sincerity and infectious smile. He was a wonderful father to me. My father was my world, my soulmate, my mentor, and best friend. I'm indebted to him for the life I have. You guys all knew my dad, and you're not going to meet another person like this. I'm alone now. Throughout my life, I was never far from my family. I was with them every day over the past 6 weeks. And even at the end, I could see what he could see. He told me he was waiting. I could see he was at the gates of heaven. Right up until his last day, he was full of grace and poise. It's because of my dad I didn't fear life. and now he's unintentionally taught me not to fear the end. This is now the hardest time of my life, but I'm a part of Daj, who still lives through me, as I'm a part of him. And if I can find the strength, I will do my best with the courage I've hopefully inherited to keep making him proud. On his last night here, he told me to carry on. I've never met a braver person than my own father. When my time comes, perhaps I can leave this earth with just a fraction of his strength and true humanity. He always brought people together, never split them apart. I'm finding the heartbreak so difficult because the love was so strong. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Not only was the smile so infectious, but his laughter was one when you'd hear it, you'd just laugh at him, even if you didn't know what the reason was. My dad and I have the same laugh. When both of us would laugh together in our home loudly, our neighbours, some of who are here today, would even wonder what was going on in our house. My mum would just say, both father and daughter are going mad. My dad taught me my first ever wealth principle. I wanted to buy my first computer when I was 14 years old. So as they had the cafe in Southall, he had me work on Saturdays and would pay me £5 for the day. He told me, earn the money first, then save for your computer. I can give you the money to buy it, but the fruits of your labor will be even sweeter when you buy it yourself. He was right. I remembered buying my first computer, Olivetti, for those old enough to know the brand. That I'll never forget how hard I worked for it. He taught me it was about making my own wealth, no matter how much my parents had. Since the age of 16, when I could legally work, my dad had already made me an independent young girl that didn't rely on her parents financially. Throughout my years living with both my parents, of course there would be disagreements and arguments. I think it's pretty unrealistic to think that it's a one-sided relationship with our parents. But the most authentic thing that came through of us each expressing our opinions, feelings, and eventually led to understanding was demonstrating our unconditional love for each other. Even in the last days, when I stayed awake for hours to talk to my dad and we couldn't sleep, we had the opportunity to share previous arguments, how they served us, how it made us grow, and we expressed our love and gratitude for each other, which was priceless. So up until here, I've shared stories with you about my relationship with my dad, which I know I could go on and on about. However, because I am certain that my dad's soul has not gone anywhere and is in fact just dispersed into many forms, as we say, energy is never destroyed, it's only ever transformed. I'll take a few minutes to address my dad directly. Thank you for everything you did for me and everything you didn't. You made me the woman I am today through both your challenge and support. I have parts of your wisdom now embedded in me that cannot be undone for the rest of my life. When you told me, Suno Sariyan di, Karo Apni, which means listen to everyone but do what your heart desires, you allowed me to be empowered in my own being and in my own actions. Through our challenges with each other, you gave me the opportunity to grow and love parts of myself I never even knew I had. Thank you. Sharing with me the famous quote by William Shakespeare that I now teach to others, nothing is ever good or bad in this world. It is only our thinking that makes it so. Taught me to question things and not just follow like a sheep or believe something just because someone had said it. You had me stand out as a leader that grew her own understanding of nature, the universe, and our connection to it. Our deep, meaningful conversations, whether they were on our walks around the park or on our drives to places or simply just in the living room, will always remain close to my heart. I will never forget. I absolutely loved the inspiring time you and I sat learning about human behavior. I believe it allowed our relationship to flourish in a deep way where we didn't project our opinions onto each other anymore, but allowed one another the freedom to make our own decisions freely. Thank you for fulfilling your final duty as my dad, handing me engagement to the man you agreed that you actually said, finally, you have found someone capable to take care of you. Suitable, and now you allow me to move forward in the coming years. You gave me the best gift father could give his daughter. your belief in me. You were a very handsome man through your 90 years, and I'm grateful we had the blessed opportunity to make you look handsome today to celebrate your life with us here on earth. I will continue striving to make your spiritual form even more proud of me for the rest of my years. I love you, Dad. Thank you for choosing me and giving me 40 inspiring years together as your daughter in the physical form. I look forward to many years of having you as my spiritual form.
लाख बुरा चाहे तो क्या होता है, मदई लाख बुरा चाहे तो क्या होता है, वही होता है जो मंजूर खुदा होता है.
Yes.
That's it.
And what, in simple English, what does that quote mean?
In simple English, it says that whatever you do is according to universal law.
Yeah.
And universal law is greater than any law. You can't mess with the universal law.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This morning, my mother-in-law-to-be sent me a beautiful poem, perfectly timed and perfect expression of my feelings for my dad's soul journey from here on, and I would like to end with this poem. It's called His Journey's Just Begun by E. Bremenon. Don't think of him as gone away, his journey's just begun. Life holds so many facets, this earth is only one. Just think of him as resting from the sorrows and tears in a place of warmth and comfort, where there are no days and years. Think how he must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of him as loving in the heart of those he touched, for nothing loved is ever lost. And he was loved so much. Thank you all for all the love that you gave him in his physical form.
Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Vaheguru. 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 Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Satnam, Vaheguru.